Hello everybody, welcome to Just Wanna Learn. My name is Mario. I'm happy to be with you again. In the past videos, we have been analyzing the different functions and meanings of the verb quedar. In this video, we will be analyzing verb quedar in its pronominal form, that is, quedarse. So quedarse may have three different meanings, and we will analyze two of them in this video. So let us analyze the first example. Me quedaré en Cuba. I will stay in Cuba 2 semanas, 2 weeks. Me quedaré en Cuba 2 semanas. Now, you can see that I am using the pronominal form of quedar because I have that me before quedar. Me quedaré. And I use me because I'm talking about myself. If I were talking about you, I would say te quedarás. Te quedarás. If I were talking about him, I would say se quedará. Se quedará, right? And so on. So whenever you use this pronominal form, you will have to add the objective pronoun. That means me, te, se, nos, and so on. So as you can see, this pronominal use of verb quedar means to stay in a place. Me quedaré en Cuba. I will stay in Cuba. Now I may ask, ¿dónde te quedarás? ¿Dónde te quedarás? Where will you stay? ¿Dónde te quedarás? And I may reply with, me quedaré en casa de un amigo. Me quedaré en casa de un amigo. I will stay at a friend's house. Me quedaré en casa de un amigo. Now I can ask the question, ¿puedes quedarte más tiempo? ¿Puedes quedarte más tiempo? Can you stay a little longer? ¿Puedes quedarte más tiempo? And you can see now that I am putting that te, that before I added before the verb, I said te quedarás, te quedarás. Now it's quedarte. That is because I added the auxiliary verb puedes. Can you stay? Whenever you're using the pronominal form of the verb and you add an auxiliary verb such as can, poder, you may switch the position of that objective pronoun after the verb. Puedes quedarte, though I can say te puedes quedar más tiempo. Te puedes quedar más tiempo. It is exactly the same thing. But just because I added that auxiliary verb poder, I can now switch the position of that te after the verb. Puedes quedarte. Puedes quedarte más tiempo. Can you stay a little longer? Can you stay more time? Now, just as in English, you can use this expression to mean that you stay to do something. For example, ¿quieres quedarte a tomar café? ¿Quieres quedarte a tomar café? Do you want to stay and drink some coffee? ¿Quieres quedarte a tomar café? Actually, a very common way of inviting someone for dinner is ¿quieres quedarte a cenar? ¿Quieres quedarte a cenar? Do you want to stay and have dinner? ¿Quieres quedarte a cenar? Of course, you can also combine quedarse, to stay, with verbs that are in present participle, that is, doing something. So I can say, for example, me quedé en el café, I stayed at the café, me quedé en el café leyendo un libro, reading a book. Me quedé en el café leyendo un libro, I stayed at the café reading a book. Now, in this sentence, I have an adverb of place, which is el café, the café, right? Me quedé en el café. I stayed at the café. And then I have a verb in present participle, right? Leyendo, reading, right? Now, let's suppose that I don't have that adverb of place. I don't have el café. I don't have the café. Then the meaning of the sentence would change. If I only have quedarse, plus a verb in present participle, that is to keep on doing something. So if I say, me quedé leyendo el libro, then that means I kept on reading the book. I continued reading the book. Me quedé leyendo el libro. I kept on reading the book. I continued reading the book. Me quedé leyendo el libro. Or I can also say, for example, me quedé esperando en la estación. Me quedé esperando en la estación. I stayed waiting at the station. So I have at the station, which is an adverb of place. So this is I stayed at the station waiting, right? Me quedé esperando en la estación. But if I remove la estación, I take out being at the station, I only say me quedé esperando. That means I kept on waiting. I continued waiting. Me quedé esperando. So I may ask the question, ¿te quedarás estudiando después de clase? ¿Te quedarás estudiando después de clase? That means, will you stay studying after lesson? Will you stay and continue studying after the lesson? ¿Te quedarás estudiando después de clase? And of course, I can also say, me quedé pensando, I kept on thinking. Me quedé pensando en tu pregunta. I kept on thinking about your question. Me quedé pensando en tu pregunta. Well, this has been the lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed it and found the examples useful. In our next video, we will analyze the last meaning of verb quedar in its pronominal form. See you then.